you're up.
Yeah. I warmed down it early.
Hey, Logan, that thing, it's not working. Don't do it anymore.
Okay.
Do something else. But you gotta be like, oh crap! In my living room, I thought this was gonna work. I'm not getting to the downbeat on time. Okay, I'm gonna jettison that idea.
Yep.
Okay. Conductors don't end well. I see so many people, like they end, they're like up here, or they end, and it's not exciting for the audience. I mean, I've done things to really manipulate the audience on purpose at the end. I don't know if I ever did it with you in playing the group, but I've done things really on purpose, like if there's an exciting inner movement, like with North Shore Band, I said, I'm going to make the audience clap at the end of this movement because I think it's really exciting and because I think it's really fun. And I can always do that. But you got to have a plan for the end, and you can't just like dot 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 dot. Right? You gotta sell it. That's your job. It's not over until there's no more sound. Okay, so Logan, I love your energy and your commitment to this. I'd love to have you conduct everybody singing the theme.
Okay. You want me to sing your theme?
No, I just want them to sing it. I want to see what you want from them.
Fantastic.
Good. Okay. There you go. Yeah, you almost ended it.
Okay, yeah.
Right? You gave beat 2, but then you collapsed. Right?
Yes.
So think about the ending. Good. You livened up once you got going, right?
Yeah.
The thing is about that, we can't rely on them to make us feel like, okay, now I can look like the music because you're providing the sound, right? We need to be the one that's always taking the lead in terms of whatever the emotional content in the character is, and not just respond to them doing it. Okay, great. I feel like I love, like I said, I love your energy and your commitment to this, and you like had you had a plan, and I love a good plan, and it was a good plan. What is what would be your character, your adjective for this?
Fat, heavy, drunk Russian.
Okay, fat, heavy, drunk Russian. Is this a mean drunk or a funny drunk?
I'm having a fun time on the dance floor drunk.
Okay, because you look like a mean drunk.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
And nobody likes a mean drunk. Okay. So could you have a bit more humor in your theme? Let's do it again. Everybody singing? What I like about that, Logan, is by making that slight change in the character, you moved with less tension, and you changed your arm position, okay? So when we're thinking about our character, I urge you to consider a variety of options and not just grab the first word that comes to your mind. Like develop the thesaurus, the imaginative thesaurus of characters, especially like, and this has to, this has to start with like, don't BS yourself. You gotta like know yourself and know, I always look pretty much the same, okay? Okay, if I always look pretty much the same, then I need to stretch myself in extremes. This is a nice chance for me to do a little homage to Bob Reynolds. Timothy, can you open this for me? This same workshop that I attended with Miss Green. Oh, where's the, is there a thingy? Okay. The same workshop that I attended with Miss Green, I went to, this was the last workshop I attended, and I went to work with Bob Reynolds and with Miss Green because I really wanted to get to know her a little bit. And I went after, I'd finished my DMA and finished my first year of teaching at Bucknell and went. And so, you know, I think I was fairly advanced. And they enjoyed teaching me and like really dug in on some things. And Bob, I got like the one dud here. Let's throw that one away. It's like taking the bad music stand and putting it back in the rack so somebody else finds it. Right? Yeah, all your students do that. Okay. So he said, this is like the character of all music. Over here, we have like the happiest, lightest, most joyous. And over here, we have how do you make a devil's horn? That looks like a cat, but you get the idea. Okay? And he said, and so he said all music falls somewhere on this spectrum, right? So over here you might have music for Prague. Over here you might have like Down a Country Lane. Okay? All of us are also on this spectrum. Hopefully more over here than over there, but I know that like in traffic this morning, right, I found myself over here. And what he accused me of accurately was taking the piece and putting it into my personality space instead of exploring further the personality space of the music. Okay, so there is our nature. Then, and I would have to say that my nature, I think, you know, you're not rolling your eyes, so I'll say that it's okay. That my nature tends to be right over here. I certainly have some moments over here, as do you. And if you're like more of a neutral person, think of playing with your nephew or your cat or puppy or whatever, and you're probably over here. If you're like a really competitive person and you play sports, maybe like your dark side comes out, okay? And then you have to think of, at rest, what do I look like? My face, okay? I think at rest, my face looks still, you know, my eyes are pretty lively looking. I think I'm pretty friendly looking. I had one student who had like just the way his lips were shaped, he looked like he was smirking. So he always looked like a troublemaker, yeah, right? So what do I look like if I'm not looking like anything? Because I'm still looking like something, okay? Then that's something that you have to consider too, because that's part of your presentation. And you can't just say, this is what I look like. I happen to look analytical. Okay, then you have to find a way to look warmer, or you have to find a way to look like if you have like a heavy brow, or you have a big beard, you know, you have to look friendlier. Like David, look at Rest and look a little crabby. Yeah, right. See? That was genius, right? So, and that's something that we talked about. Is like somebody has to look like they're home. So this is all part of the consideration. One of the things I would suggest to everyone, again, this falls into the, if you want to get better, don't BS yourself. And that means just do an honest assessment. And you can choose repertoire that forces you into more tender music, Or you can force repertoire into making you more forceful. I think you naturally, your body type and everything, the forcefulness of this, if you do too much, is going to go way over the top and it's going to lead to tension. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Now, I want to do, of course, one last thing, which I always do with Logan, and see if I can help you with what you wanted to do here.
Yes.
Okay. I know what you wanted to do. You wanted to do a gesture syncopation, but you have to be able to get out of it in time.
Right.
So you and me, we're going to just do this, and we're going to sing from the beginning, then we're going to give that little gesture syncopation on beat 2.
Okay.
Here we go. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 and then you just got to get back at it.
Okay.
Watch once, and you sing for me.
Sure. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum.
Okay, there you go. Okay, now probably you don't want to give all of them. Maybe you give the first one, maybe the second one, then you wait. If there's one that you think is funnier than others, then maybe you'll go back to that. But the last thing you want to do is have your group predict, oh, he always does this here. Okay, and then once you're getting the accent you want, you don't have to do it again. Then they'll do it, and then maybe you skip doing it, and then you do it again, they'll be like, oh, it's back, that was fun. But if they're like, oh, here it comes again, that's just irritating. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
You're going to do this one more time.
Fantastic.
Okay, so I want you to think about the humorous drum, and maybe you're all, like, look, you don't need that. You don't need that. Right? All you have to do is open this.
Okay.
Right? Great. Yeah, see, you can't give, you have to give the beat before it.
Yep.
This is slow. It's early in the day. I'd be thinking air. Just get some air moving on these low notes.
Sure.
Okay, go move it.